Hi guys, welcome to Charlotte's Spoilage. I just want to get in here and see if I can make a moss pole out of a bamboo stick. I seen this done by another YouTuber. I just want to try it for myself. She did, however, use yarn to wrap this around, but I'm going to be using fish hook twine, and I'm gonna see if that will work for me. So this will be my first time doing this. This is my moss, and the way I remember her telling me how to do this, or telling us how to do this in her video, is just kind of making a little line of moss, like a bed of moss. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to show you and back up the camera a little bit. So if I can get it downward. So I'm making a little bed of moss right here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to go do this by memory, is you want to take the moss and kind of wrap it around the stick or the pole, okay? Excuse me. So you want to take the moss and kind of roll the moss and the pole together, okay? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking the moss, taking the pole or the bamboo stick, and I'm rolling it together, okay? And wherever I need to fill in moss, I'm gonna do that, okay? I'm just rolling this pole with the moss rolling with me, okay? So right now, all you can see is the moss. Can't really see the pole. You do have to leave a little bit on the end of the moss of the pole, and I'll show you right here. You leave it because that's the part that's going to go inside the soil, this part right here, okay? So then after she rolls it, she kind of pats it together, and she takes a piece of string at the bottom of the pole, and she puts it underneath, leaving a little room, leaving a little excess of this string or fish wire, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're using today. And she leaves that a little bit. Hold on a second. You can't hardly see this. That's why I like it. She leaves a little bit excess, and she ties a knot, okay? So I'm going to actually cut this because it might be easier to work with, okay? So I'm tying a knot, or maybe two. Okay, I'm tying a knot, and then you just keep lifting the pole. It's my understanding, but not all the way. You just kind of go up the pole with the string. Being careful not to lift it too high, and just keep making sure that that moss gets in that string, okay? And you just keep going up the pole, and you do it kind of tight, and you just keep wrapping it. And just keep wrapping it until you get all the way to the top of the pole, okay? And that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to get all the way to the top of the pole. I think I might have cut my string too short, but that's okay. If I need to add more, I will. Okay? So I want you to see that. See that, how that moss is staying on there? And I'm going up, I'm continuing to go up the pole with the fish line. And I'm getting to the end of it, which means that I didn't do very well with judgment on how long I wanted it. So what I'm going to do is get some more and keep going where I left off at. I would tie a knot, but the truth of the matter is this string is so fine I can't hardly see it. So I'm just going to judge it. I'm going to keep going around it. Keep going around it. Keep going around it. Tighten it up as I go. Keep going around it. Pressing down on the moss so it stays intact in place. And I'm going to go up the pole. See? She says don't lift the pole, but it's kind of hard not to lift it. So I know why she says that, because she don't want you to lose the moss, but my moss is pretty wet, so it's holding on pretty good. Okay? So far, we're doing pretty good. We need to get on up here. This shouldn't take too long. Alright. I'm still going around and around with the fish hook wire. And when I'm turning this, I'm trying to do it as tight as I can. I need some more. Okay. So I'm going back around with the wire. She was a lot faster than I was, and she did say the first time you do it, it's going to seem like it takes longer, but as you learn how to do it, you get better at it, and it doesn't take as long. So I see why she said that. And I also see that it would have been better had I not cut this, but it's easier for me to go around it, to me, with it cut. Okay, I'm going to show you this in a minute. Another thing that she did, and I may not have to do it, we're going to see, because I'm using so much of this twine. Let's see here. See? You see what I'm doing? Still going around it. Still going around it. And to make sure I get all the way to the end. And that's how you make your moss pole. And it's the stuff you already have at home. Now, one thing she did at the end of her bamboo stick, she cut it sideways so it'll stick in the soil better. But mine, it sticks in there anyway. And yours will too. You don't have to cut it. She just thinks that it sticks better when you cut it sideways. Okay? So yeah, it's looking pretty good, you guys. For my first time, it's looking pretty good. I'll show you here in a second what I've accomplished so far. This is one of my plant chores that I was supposed to do today. And I had to stop my video because my grandkids, they kind of wanted my attention. And it's hard trying to make a video with kids interrupting you. I love them dearly, but it's just the truth. So I'm just going in here and I'm getting toward the end now. But I'm also grabbing some of the moss that fell and I'm sucking it back onto the pole. And you'll see that here in a minute. Because you don't want the pole bald. You want it to have plenty of sphagnum moss so your plant can climb onto it. It attaches to the moss and the roots attach. And your plants just love it. Okay? So here it is. And then what you want to do, you want to take some scissors where the edges of the sphagnum moss is kind of sticking out. And cut that moss, the excess moss off. Okay? So by this being the top of the pole, I did see her kind of take the string and go around the top of the pole. And so I'm just going to kind of see if I can do something to make it stick on the top. Hold on a second. I see where I've got some moss that needs to be added at the end of this pole. I see it. And it's actually more so for aesthetics and not necessarily the plant. Because it can still attach to the pole. I got my moss really, really wet. Now what she did in her exercise, and I'm getting ready to show you, I'm going back down the pole. And that's what she did. You start going up, and then you end going down, okay? Because I put a lot of fish wire on here, I'm not going to do as much as she did. And I don't think I have to because I went in here so good the first time with the string. But I understand why she did it, because that part that she left, the excess part that she left, that's where you're going to tie it at, okay? And I think I've probably wrapped up my excess part. So I'm going to have to tie it with what I have to work with, okay? So that's all I'm doing is wrapping this around. And then I'm going to make a little knot here to tie it up. So I see her purpose in that, but, oh, okay, I found it. I found it, you guys. So I'm going to tie this little excess end into the end that she left, the piece that she left out. And that's just so you'll have an end point, okay? And that's all I did was I slid it through the part that she already had. And then you just cut the excess off. Okay? So I want to show you the pole here in just a second. I'm getting some of the excess water out because you don't need that much water. Okay? That's me getting the excess water out. I don't actually have a lot of excess moss to cut off. You see that end right there? I just have that little piece there. But I think it's because of the type of fish wire that I use. It doesn't have that much excess sphagnum moss. Look at that. We did pretty good for the first time. And there's the end where you stick that in the dirt. So I'm going to put my plant on the moss pole. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys will continue to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.